Writing code directly inside the HTML without the markup is really not recommended. So instead, we need to have a proper structure of our website. So let's get started how to build that. So first thing what you need is a doc type declaration. So I'm using the HTML5 doc type, so it's going to be HTML, and that's it. So this is a declaration, document declaration for HTML5. The next thing what you would need is a HTML tag. So you can just type in HTML and close that. So one of the best things about VS Code is that it automatically closes the tag for you. So if you see this / sign beside a HTML text or HTML tag, that is a closing tag. Right after that, what we can do is we can open up a head tag, and inside that we can type in some title. So I'm going to show you what this title actually do. And right now, let me just go back to the browser and show you what's actually happening. You can see that right now the document title says index.html, but what we need is a specific name for our document. So I'm going to name this as home, and right after this I'm going to specify a meta tag, and I'm going to specify a name for this meta. That's going to be description. Okay, it will have some content. I'm just going to give this. And now once I have that, the next one what I need is the body tag. So you can just type in body, and all the things like all the headings, paragraphs, images, links, what you will be adding in the further classes, you will be completely working inside the body tag that is over this area. So now let me explain you how this thing actually works. Now this is the complete HTML5 document structure. So there is an easier way to create this. If you can't remember this, you can just get rid of this entire thing and just type in HTML, and you can see that we have a context menu here that specifies HTML5. Select the HTML5 abbreviation and click on enter. Okay, now we have the complete skeleton of our HTML. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to create a simple hello world page. So I'll say hello world. Okay, let me save that. Let's get back to our browser and hit refresh. Now we have our page with the title document. So what is this document title? And if you can see here, we have the title called document, and I'm going to specify another one called meta, and I'm going to specify this in name as description. And I'll give some content to it. That's going to be this. Now you check out this thing. If you see this title document over here and this description, and now let me show you where does this actually come useful. So if you go to Google and look for web design wiki, okay, you see this thing, this blue color highlighting here, that is our title tag. And if you can see this thing, what we have here, a small description, is actually the description of what you will be writing in your code. We have created our hello world page. Now I want to add some more text to our document. Let's go back to our code, and here in the next line I'm going to type in welcome to the world of code. Okay, let me save that. Let's get back to your browser and hit refresh. See what happened? The text came right beside the hello world. So what we need to do is we need to break this line. We want the welcome to the world of code, the text in the next line. So one way of doing this is right after this hello world text, you're going to write in the BR tag. So let me save this. So BR stands for break tag. So if I get back and hit refresh, see, that comes to the next line. The next thing what I need is I need a horizontal line right after the hello world. So if I need a horizontal line, all I have to do is just type in HR. So that's an horizontal line tag. So if I get back to my browser and hit refresh, you can see now that I have an horizontal line. So let's just say that I want to create something. I'm going to create another HR tag, and here I will say hello world. Now you can see that they're kind of like very close to each other. So if I get back to my browser and hit refresh, okay, that's very close to each other. I need to give some space, but I can't give an extra space like this. That's gonna just add in a single space. If I hit refresh, you can see that's just a single space, but I want this a little bit far ahead. So one of the way of doing this is you can just get rid of this one and give one space. So here we'll specify ampersand, NBSP. That stands for non-breaking space. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it like around 4 times. So if I save this, get back to my browser and hit refresh, I can see we have some blank spaces. Just like in textbooks, we have headings inside HTML too. We have around 6 types of headings, starting from H1 to till H6, and then we have a paragraph. Let me show you how that looks like. So to type in a first heading, just type in H1 and hit on tab. That's going to give you the first heading. So here I'm going to type in as heading, and if you want to duplicate this, there's a easier way to do it. Just hold Alt and Shift and just hit the drop down button in your keyboard. So then we have on 3, 4, 5 and 6. We have also multi-line editing inside VS Code. So you can click on this one and hold Alt and click on the other one. So you can see now 2 code have been highlighted together. So I'm going to remove this, change to H2, let's go to H3, and it's going to be H4, H5, and then we have H6. So these are the different types of headings. So let me show you how this thing looks like inside the browser. Let me save this. Let's go to our browser and hit refresh. See, H1 being the largest heading and H6 being the smallest one. Let me show you how to create a paragraph. So you can just type in P, that creates a paragraph, also called as phrase tag. So inside that, I'm going to type in lorem. So lorem is a dummy text. You can always use it. So once you type in lorem, just hit on the tab key. That's going to automatically fill in some dummy text. So what has happened is that created a huge line which I have to scroll. So I'm going to break this into multiple lines. So I'm going to click here, one here, another one here. Yeah, I think this is much enough. So I can go back to my browser and hit refresh. You can see this is my text, and then we have some headings. Every text inside the HTML some point needs to be formatted. So I'm going to show you how to format your text inside this document. So let me create a paragraph tag, and inside this I'm going to type in some lorem. Okay, so we have some dummy text here. I'm going to get back to my browser and hit refresh. Okay, we have some text here. So what I need to do is I need to add some formatting over here. So let's get back to our code, and let me get this over here, and let me break this first. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bold tag. So I'm just going to say B, and here I will say I am a bold tag or bold text. We save that. If you get back to your browser and hit refresh, you can see that's a bold text. Now there's something similar when it comes to HTML5. So let's get back to the code, and right after this I'm going to type in a strong tag. I will say I am a strong text. You save that. Let's get back to the browser and hit refresh. See, totally no difference. They look completely alike. The next we have an italic tag. So I'm going to type in I, and I'll say I am a italic text. We save that. We'll get back to the browser and hit refresh. You can see it's inclined now. Okay, the same way we have an HTML5 element called emphasize. So I'll say em, I am just inclined. Okay, I think that's enough. So let's get back to the browser and hit refresh. You can see totally no difference. That looks exactly the same. Okay, so these are the 2 most famous text formatting you can use inside your document. So I'll get back to our code and let's create some more formatting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a BR tag here. So let me break that line so that we can add some more formatting here. Okay, so let's just say I want to underline something. So you can say U, and then I can simply type in I am an underlined text. Okay, let me save that. Let's get back to the browser and hit refresh. You can see we have a text which is underlined. I'm going to do the same thing inside HTML. In HTML we have something called INS, which is inserted. So I'll say I am just here. Let me save that. Let's get back to the browser and hit refresh. See, exactly the same. The next one is a good one. So I'm going to create a BR tag. So you'll be using this a lot. So you might have gone to Amazon or any other shopping cart site. You might see a sale. specifying that it was before this much price, now the price is this much, but the before price would have a strike through to it. So we're going to see how to create that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply say S, that's a strike tag, and here I'm going to say around RS, say 25, 1000. Let me save this, and if I get back to my browser and hit refresh, you can see that has been struck there. The same way we have another one inside HTML5, we have DEL tag, that's for delete. So we'll say RS, I'll say 35, 123, and save. So if I get back to my browser and hit refresh, see that also looks exactly the same. Links are one of the most important parts of HTML. With the help of links, we can navigate from one page to another page. Let me show you how you can create a link inside HTML. So in HTML, links are actually called as anchor text. So to create that, all you have to do is type in A and hit on the tab key. See, we have an attribute here. You can see something that adds up with a starting tag of your text is basically an attribute. So this is the attribute and it's asking me for some value. So let me just type in www.google.com, and inside this I can type in Google. So if I save this and get back to my browser and hit on refresh, you can see now my Google is linked to a google.com page. So if I click on this, that's going to give me an error message. Now you have to read the error messages which you see in your web page. So basically it's here saying that your file was not found. If you look at the URL here, it says that it is looking for www.google.com inside my lesson 4 document. But google.com is not a file. It's a hypertext transfer protocol. So let's get back to our code, and here we're going to add in https://. So this will create a link for my text Google. So let's get back to our page and let's hit refresh. Before that, let's get back, and now let's hit refresh. So now if I take my cursor here and click on that, so that's going to take me to the google.com. But what if I want the user to stay on my page but still open the google.com in a separate tab? We can do that with the help of anchor tags. So let's get back here. All we have to do is just add in an extra attribute. So this attribute is called as target. So we're going to specify this as target_blank. So what this does is it tells the link that if the user clicks on the Google text, open this link in a new tab. Let me show you how this thing works. Let me save this, get back to the browser, and let me get back to our file. Let's hit refresh. Now if I take my cursor here and click on that, see, that opens up Google in a new tab. Working with nested links can be a little difficult. So in this class, I'm going to show you how you can link pages which are inside another folder. For example, what I have done here is I've created a folder called pages, and if I open that, you can see there are like 2 more pages inside. It says page 1 and page 2. If I open, you can see it simply says a heading called page 1, and if I open page 2, it simply says page 2. That's it. That's also in H1. So what we're going to do is in the index.html over here, we're going to connect with that page. So let me get rid of this, and I'm going to name this page as the home page. So I'll say H1, and then I'll simply call this as home page. Let me save that. And about this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some anchor text. So I will say A, and I want to connect to that page. So if you want to find out how many pages do you have inside your folder, just hold Control and hit on the space bar. So that will show you that it has a folder called pages. So let me open that, and inside that I have page 1. So let me select that one. So this page is actually page 1. Let me save that. I'm going to give a space and put a pipe over there. I'm going to create another link, and this one is going to be just hold Control and hit spacebar, and we are going to go inside pages, and we have page 2. Let me name this as page 2. Let me save that. Let me copy this path. Let me get back to our browser, close this, and copy this one, paste it. It's actually the same page, so just had to refresh. So we have a home page, and then we have page 1 and page 2. So let me click on this, and this should take me to my page 1. So if I click on this, okay, we are in page 1. But now the question is, how do I get back? So the only way right now is to hit on the back button. Okay, so let me hit on the back button and let me check out the page 2. Okay, again we have the same issue. We can't go back through the web page. So what we need to do is we need to create a backlink that will take us to the home page. So let me get back to my code, and now what I have to do is I have to go inside the pages and open the page1.html, and here I have to create the back page. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an anchor tag, and inside this hold control and hit spacebar. Now it only says page 1 and page 2. We do not have the index.html page to go back. So at this time what you're supposed to do is just hit 2 dots, say dot dot, and put a forward slash. That's going to take you out of that particular folder. So now we can see that we have an index.html page available. So let me click on that, and this is going to be a back button. So I'm going to copy the same link, just copy this, and now let's get back to our page2.html, and I'm going to paste that over here. Let me paste it. I'm going to give some space. Okay, remove some space. Okay, let me save that. Now let's get back to our page and let's hit on refresh. Now I can see I have a back button. If I click on that, that should take me to the home page. Great, we are on the home page. Let's go to page 1, go back, and page 2, and we can go back. So this is how easy it is to create a navigation with the help of anchor text. There are two types of list when it comes for HTML. We have ordered list and then we have unordered list. Let me show you what that actually means. I'm going to create an h3 tag. I'm going to call this as ordered lists. So here what we'll do is we're going to use an OL tag. So basically that means ordered list. So inside that I'm going to specify an li. I'm going to call this as 1. Let me create 2 and say 3 and create another one called 4. So let's see how that kind of looks like inside the web page. I'm going to copy the path. Let's go to the browser, select this one, and if I hit refresh, there it is. So basically what happens here is that we have ordered list. It comes in the counting numbers. We have 1, 2, 3 like that. The same way we have unordered list. I'm going to show you how that thing works. So first thing, I'm going to create an horizontal line, and after that I'm just going to copy the entire thing and just paste it here. Now all you have to do is just change the OL to UL. So UL means unordered list. So you will have, instead of numbers, you will have like bullets over here. Okay, so let's just say you want to create nested items inside this. So you have a list, inside that you want a particular list of items. Let me show you how you can create that. I'm going to create another horizontal line. I'm going to say UL, I'll say LI, I'll say 1. And inside this I want more items. So what I can do is I can hit enter and say UL again, and inside this I can specify the list of items I need. So instead of 1, 2, 3, I'm going to say here, say bikes and cars, say trucks. Okay, and after this I'm going to get back to my normal listing. So it's going to be 2, 3, and then we have 4. Let me save this and let me show how that looks like inside the browser. If I hit refresh, you can see that's kind of nested over here. Same thing can be done with the help of ordered list also. So I'm just going to copy this one, and right below this let me create another HR tag, and inside this what we'll do is we'll just copy these items, and after the 3 here I'm just going to paste this. So now that is listed inside this. Let's save this one. Let's get back here and hit refresh. And you can see how that thing looks like. A website without images really doesn't look that nice. So in this class we are going to see how you can add images into our website. To add an image, what I have done is, first thing, I have created a folder here in my lesson number 6 called images, and inside that what I have done is I've added this image called food. So if I open this, you can just check it out how that image looks like. This is the image what I have used, and what we need to do now is we need to display this image into our website. So what we'll do is we'll create an img tag, stands for image, and as soon as I hit tab I have this src and alt. Src stands for the source. So where is the image located? So like I said in the last class, just hold Control and hit on spacebar. You will see that there is a folder called images, and inside that we need to add the foot image. So let me just save this. Now if I get back to my browser and if I hit on refresh, you can see that I have that foot image. So let's just say something went wrong and we did not find the image what we are looking for. So let me just remove this one extension and let me create an error. So if I get back to my browser and if I hit on refresh, you see there's no error displayed. So we need to give some kind of message to the user that there was something there and now that image is gone. So to do that is the reason why we have the alt attribute. So what the alt attribute does is that it will give an alternative name for the image if the image is missing. For example, here I can name this as foot, and if I save this and if I get back to my browser and if I hit on refresh, you can see it shows me foot over there. Alt attributes are very famous when it comes for SEO. So let me check this out, and now when I get back my JPG extension and if I go to my browser, if I hit refresh, you can see we have the image back as we wanted. Another way of adding an image to your website would be by using a CDN. For example, let's just say we do not have an image inside our folder, but the image is located somewhere in the internet. For example, I'm going to go to pixabay.com, and from here what we'll do is we'll take some image. For example, okay, I'm going to take this one. So if I need this image, what I will do is I'll simply right click here and I can copy the image address. Or I can open this file. If I want a larger file, I can just open this one, right click here, and I can copy the image address. So let me copy this image address. Let's get back to our code. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a HR tag that's a horizontal line. I'm going to say img, and inside this I'll paste this one. So now I'm going to call this as nature. So if I save this and if I get back to my browser and in my document, if I refresh, it's going to take a moment, but we'll get that image over here. If you ever worked with Excel sheet, you might notice that it has kind of like a table structure. You have number of rows, columns, and everything. The same thing we have it in HTML. We call it as tables. Let me show you how to work with that. So let's say tables. And what we'll do is we'll specify a border for that. I'm going to set it to 1, and basically this adds an extra border for the table. Now we'll specify a tr tag that specifies the table row, and then we'll specify the th, that is the table heading. So we are going to create a simple table for a number of users available in our database. So that's going to be like a serial integer, and we'll specify another th, and we'll give this as name. Another one, say th called email. The next one is going to be th as phone number. So let me save this and let's check it out how that looks like in the browser. If I hit refresh, you can see this is how it displays. Now let's get back and let's add the second row in our table. So to do that, after the tr tag ends, we'll specify another tr and we say td. td stands for table data. Now we'll specify the serial integer as 1. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to name this as John, and the email ID is going to be john@gmail.com. Okay, and we need a phone number, so I'm going to add some dummy phone number, say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0. Okay, so let me just copy this and paste it again, and we'll call this as 2 and we'll call this as 3. So if I save this and if I get back to my browser, if I hit refresh, you can see this is how the data displays. Now in tables we have a lot more other options which you can work with. For example, let's just say we want to merge these columns over here, what we have. So what we'll do is we'll get back to our code, and the first thing is that we want to merge 1 with everything. So we don't need to specify 2 over here. We can get rid of this 2 here and 3 2. So let's remove this. Let's get back to our browser. If I hit refresh, you can see there'll be an extra base column which is empty. Now we need to move these items here and to merge with the 1. So you can get back to your code, and here we'll specify row span, and we need how many? 3. So that's counting 1 2 and 3. So I'll save this as 3, Let's get back here. If I hit refresh, okay, that's 1. Okay, now we can see that we have John like around repeated many times, so we can merge this one too. So what I want to do is that I want to specify the code and the phone number. So let me get back here, and what we'll do here is we'll specify another TD right after this. So I will say TD, and I will call this as +91. Okay, let's just add this everywhere. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here, and then paste it here. Let me save this and let's get back to our file and hit refresh. Now what we have to do is we need to merge the this one with our phone number. So what we'll do is we'll get back to our code, and you can see here that we have a phone for the TH. We'll specify as call span, and we'll set it to 2. Let's save that. We have set it to 2 because we want to merge like 2 columns. If I hit refresh, there it is merged. Forms are basically used to collect information from the user. Let me show you how to create a form. So when I type in form and I hit on tab button, you can see that we get this action thing. I'm going to get rid of this for now. I'm going to show you what that is later. So after this, what I'm going to do is inside that I'm going to type in input, type is text, and right after that I'm going to type in input, type is submit. So when I save this, basically what I have done is I have created 2 fields for the user to do something. One which collects the information, next is a submit button. So let me get back to the browser and let me hit on refresh. Now you can see that we have a input field and a submit button.